problems, worries, sadness? Are you seeking solutions?
Bible says,
Do not be anxious about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Choose faith over fear.
When you see a human being completely destroyed, and really dirty and muddy, and just you see it in their face, in their how they feel terrible, and for you to be able to pick that person up and say, allow me to help you, and offer you an opportunity to respect you as a human being, as a person, by simply saying, welcome, bienvenido. We are so focused in ourselves, what I want, what I need. And so we're so dissatisfied in life is because we're so much just focusing on me, instead of, if you go out of yourself and to really look how much goodness you have, that God has gifted you with, you will be amazed at how much you can do for the others, and that in itself will come back to you in joy and happiness and peace.
My name is Janie Hernandez. I'm from Nicaragua. And I'm here at the shelter for Catholic Charities. I'm here in this place of McAllen, Texas. And, well, I'm here with my son, Max. He's 1 month old. And he was born here in Brownsville. We had to run away, fleeing my country, literally running the border blind. Because it turns out that my husband, in this particular situation, was being threatened. They put him on a list of the police under the door of the house, that he had to be imprisoned. In prison in Nicaragua. The ones who are in prison right now are being tortured, and things are being done to them, a number of things. So that is the particular case of my husband, and because of this, obviously, I am his wife, so everything that affects him affects me. So we decided to migrate together.
my country became so dangerous that if you had the opportunity, it became necessary to carry a weapon. But when the gangs harassed me and threatened to kill my son, I had to make a decision and decided to leave. That's why that tiny grain of love is so important to us immigrants. May God continue to protect and bless you now and always, all of you.
They've gone through so much. They've traveled through so many countries from Central America, either Guatemala, Honduras, or El Salvador. They've been in the road, in their journey for many weeks, and most of the time walking and just hiding from people from hurting them. All of them are dirty and muddy, and they're scared, they're frightened. They need help. They have been processed by Border Patrol, and they have been allowed to travel. The community has responded by making sure that they get the care and the attention they need. The families walk in and they're amazed, and sometimes with tears in their face because of the joy they see of being welcome. You see this transformation begin to start to change them, and to see the dignity that is so important in every person's life.
Faith in action yields 100-fold. Sister Norma's life is a testimony to this. In 2014, thousands of refugees began crossing the border to escape violence and despair. Sister Norma, who joined the Sacred Heart Church in the city of McAllen, Texas, saw the need in addressing their plight. She opened the Humanitarian Respite Center. Sister Norma ensured the provision of food, shelter, and other necessities to these migrants entering the U.S. The Humanitarian Respite Center has helped thousands of refugees and immigrants. Sister Norma Pimental is with the Religious Order of Missionaries of Jesus and currently serves as the Executive Director of Catholic Charities in Rio Grande Valley.
The one that really anchored my heart, grounded it in the reality that we were to be faced with from that day forward, was the children that I saw at the detention center, where there were just so many children. They were being placed there until they could figure out where to put them, because they didn't know what to do. They didn't come with mom or dad. So it took them a different process for them. They could not be released to the community because they were accompanied by somebody else other than their immediate parents. And so they were kept in detention for quite a while, and they were dirty and muddy and crying. And this was little tiny children, 5 years old, maybe younger, maybe not more than 5, 6 or 7 or whatever, But to see those children right before me, crying and looking up to me and asking me to help them, ayúdame. My heart just completely destroyed, and not knowing. I wanted to take every single one of those kids with me and save them. And all I could do was cry with them and pray with them, and they pray with me. And that experience for me, every time I share it, I relive that moment and that pain that I saw in those children. And it was that experience that has taken me forward to always remember what it is that I'm doing and why. When you see a human being completely destroyed, and really dirty and muddy, and just you see it in their face, in their how they feel terrible, and for you to be able to pick that person up and say, allow me to help you, and offer you an opportunity to respect you as a human being, as a person, by simply saying welcome, bienvenido, and therefore giving them the opportunity to, just by that moment, it starts to transform, because now you become a person. You're not just somebody who is pushing you away, somebody that doesn't like you or that you may be smelling, and you all of a sudden become somebody with respect. And so I think that in itself opens the door to a transformation in the human person that has been mistreated and has been felt left out, has been rejected. And so all of a sudden now there is this opening to welcoming, and there where I see the transformation in the faces of the person, when the person approaches you feeling comfortable and safe, and so therefore then having the opportunity to take a shower, to get clean out of all that filth and whatever it is that you haven't been able to clean yourself, and put on clean clothing. It just continues that transformation of restoring the dignity of that person. It's in them, and the interaction with each other, just talking and caring about that person, and hearing their story and understanding why they're there, and it's almost this validating that human being as a child of God. my response was a community response. I just took the lead in something that I saw needed to happen, and everybody became part of it. It's not like it was just Sister Norma's thing. It was our thing. We together as a community responded, and my leadership, my initiative was that confidence that this is something that needed to happen, and everybody was agreeing and 100% believing that restoring and helping a person in pain and suffering was something that comes natural for us as a human person, that I think God put in our heart, that the moment we see another human being hurting and suffering, it is in us to reach out and help, and I saw that in our community people. It's beautiful. The people from the Rio Grande Valley, they wanted to help. We all wanted to do something about this family. So I've never seen any struggle as to obstacles. On the contrary, I saw people offering and wanting to help right from the start. The first day, I remember the very first day that I called a friend and I said, Esperanza, meet me at the Sacred Heart, because that's where we started the whole respite center, in the parish hall at the Sacred Heart. And she said, "Para qué, sister? I have no idea, Esperanza. I just meet me there, call your friends, have them call their friends, and we'll figure it out together." And so I think that as we move forward from that day on, it has only been blessings one after another.
Every day, she meets with these displaced people, gives direction to those who have lost hope, sees them as human beings with dignity, welcomes them, and joyfully interacts with them. Her warm reception and reassuring smile become a beam of hope. "Welcome, how are you, and how can I help you?" transforms their despair into hope.
God has surprised me so much because He has been like a father that I did not expect. I am surprised that we came to stop in good hands with people from immigration, with people here, because this is complete. Here are all the basic things. My son has milk. My son even has air conditioning. Thanks be to God. I believe that God surprises you. And so the people that are here, that serve and lead, they are such incredible people that know and understand the needs of thy neighbor. And that is what Christianity is. To serve thy neighbor. Whether or not they're Catholic or Christians, there are also atheists that serve with a pure heart as just a human. And well, that is God. Because God touches people, and you won't even know when He has touched you, because you don't even know God has used you. When it was you offering a plate of food to someone that was starving, God does everything.
Many years ago, I got to know her as a person before the family started to come here. Well, she invited us to help her to receive these families that we didn't know or understand what it was about or what was happening. But she called and we said yes. And that was 7 years ago. And here we are today, still supporting her. She's a person who inspires us a lot. All she wants to do is restore the dignity of these people, to make them feel whole, and to make them feel like a person again after everything they have been through.
I think one of the most important aspects of Sister Norma Pimental is the way she lives her faith. You talk about a pillar in the community when it comes to selfless service. Without Sister Norma and without the community engagement, our mission of border security would be a very difficult mission to achieve.
At the end of the day, you leave here exhausted, but you leave here with a sense of accomplishment that you've done something good. When, especially in the respite center, when we would welcome the families and they were walking in for the very first time, you could see in their faces how distraught they were, how much suffering they had been through, and they were experiencing as they were going. And then they would be standing right there before you, sitting down. The very first question that I ask will be, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? And looking at their face, and in that moment, it's almost as to acknowledge, is that I see you, and so that person will break into tears, because the very first time that somebody has almost all of a sudden just recognized, is that I'm here. And it's a moment when they look inside and realize and give themselves permission to open up and say, I'm hurting. I'm truly hurting. It's a very special, for me, a very sacred moment. That privilege to be able to be there before them and hold them in that moment.
In September 2015, Pope Francis publicly recognized Sister Norma for her work with refugees and immigrants, and for exemplifying the role that Catholic women religious play in this service to the Church and to society.
For me, that moment with Pope Francis was so unbelievable, I think that nothing more could have been more majestic than what that moment was for me. I met him afterwards several times, but it was not that precise moment where he singled me out and he spoke with me. Those words were so encouraging for me, so encouraging, because I felt that not only that he was talking to me, but he was talking to all of us, all of us that were so dedicated and working so many hours. I mean, believe me, there's so many volunteers that were by my side that I really, truly, I admire immensely. I think he was speaking to all of us, he was saying, be courageous, continue doing what you're doing. It's awesome. And it's such a big pat on the back,
Sister Norma, who has gained international attention, is included in Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People of 2020.
I think it represents for me an opportunity to bring forward these innocent victims of families that I've seen for so many years, and recognize the fact that they're people, and this recognition can showcase the fact that we must pay attention to them. I'm certain that Jesus is at the core of who I am. It is He that guides me and tells me exactly what I need to do and say and how to move forward. I think that without Him, I would not be reaching the person the way I do. I think it's Him that defines me to do what I do, and to say what I do and to be who I am. I think that Holy Father's words are so encouraging and so real in today's time, so necessary, and it's something that we must continue to work towards, bringing people together, helping people feel they belong, and I think that is part of what we are called to do, invite others to come in, be willing to open your heart to welcome others and to care about them. I think that relationships, as he mentions, in his letter, is something that we must focus on. We must care about each other. We must be able to build those relationships, because the pandemic has really brought us apart. We've distanced ourselves so much. We stay home. We things have changed for us, and so we must find ways to bring us back together. Ways that can be safe, but at the same time that we can recognize and see that life is important, that person in my life is important, and others that are needing us are important. And so how we express this, how we live this is necessary that we pay attention to and make communities of belonging. That's what our Holy Father mentions. I think that is something that we must, this message must be carried on with everybody. How can we bring us together? He speaks to us in a message that is very critical today, because we're hurting, as humanity is hurting. It's truly, there's so many people suffering, so many people displaced, people that have left their homes because of the circumstances they're living in their countries, and so there's this distance among us and as nations as well, and so our Holy Father's message is helping us in a very critical time to think about the importance of coming together and working together to solve the things that we as a humanity need to address. And I think that more than anything is the respect to life. I think that our Holy Father's message is saying life is sacred, and we must learn to respect that and learn to live together as one human family. I think today we must be there for each other. Today we must be able to care for one another. This is how we can come together. We have to put aside our own differences, our own personal things that we are so distracted with, that keeps us from really seeing the other, and allowing myself to get close, to listen, to hear what it is that the other is trying to say, or what the other is feeling, or what the other is needing. And I think that when we put our focus away from us, and to the other persons that we see in our community, in our family, we start to be able to bring us together, and we need unity in our families, we need unity in our community, in our nation, in the world, because of all I think that there's so much personal things that are interfering with us truly living out the message of who God is in our life. Jesus born this Christmas will be Jesus. The way he is born to us this Christmas is by how I give myself to others, how I allow myself to truly live out that presence of this loving baby Jesus that is wanting to really be present in my life, by giving myself to others in a very open and caring way. I think that's the best sign of hope that we can give to humanity today.
Restoring human dignity is the message Sister Norma brings to the world this Christmas, because these words are relevant to our world today. Christ is the good news, the hope for all nations. Where can Christ be found? In the hungry, the thirsty, and among strangers and prisoners.
Si alguien tiene abundancia en este mundo y no abre el corazón frente al dolor, ¿cómo podría la caridad de Dios habitar en él? Enséñanos, Señor, a poner nuestra vida al servicio de todo el mundo. Si alguien tiene abundancia en este mundo y no abre el corazón frente al dolor, ¿cómo podría la caridad de Dios habitar en él?
use media a lot in evangelization, so I believe in the importance of Catholic radio, Catholic TV, Catholics using the new media. And I encourage everyone to watch Shalom TV. I think it's a great vehicle of evangelization. And God bless all of you.